Thank you. Very, very important questions because very often culture and cultural heritage are put at the center of conflicts. I don't think they're all for that. They're expressions of society, they're expressions of culture, they're expressions of history. But very often culture and cultural heritage are used, or I would say rather abused, by fighting groups to become symbols, identities, and therefore used as a way to hit the enemy or the adversary. So that's the reason why very often you have this horrible scenes. Why we saw the Mostar Bridge being demolished in Bosnia. I would say also the Bosnian destruction was part of this kind of type of attack, ideological and so on. You have many situations, not only in recent times. Of course, somebody mentioned World War II. There was a season of heritage destruction that was, for the first time in history, deliberate and systematic. So there is a problem there because fighting factions use cultural heritage as a tool to bring war, to destroy the image of the identity. So that's another really good reason to protect heritage. Ways to do it, of course, are complex, especially during conflict. You mentioned Syria. We really have difficulties in intervening during conflict. We do, of course, do a lot of things. We try to help people on the ground. We try to raise international attention. We try to get information and maintain an observatory situation, but that's not enough to prevent destructions. They happen under our eyes, under television eyes. So it is a complex endeavor to protect heritage during conflict, and it's something that certainly will require a bigger engagement of the international community or public bodies, because we think that what the system that is in place today, one that came about after World War II, the system of protection of heritage, is a good system. It can be effective, but certainly insufficient when you see what happens. So in a way, our history in UNESCO has been constantly accompanied by these situations. You mentioned Cambodia. That's a very good example. I think I will put it up front as probably the most significant and relevant of how the intervention of the international community, of course, under the aegis of UNESCO, but there were many countries involved, was able to turn the almost desperate situation of the most important sites in the world into a magic situation that we have today, where the site is restored and has become an icon of heritage movement. So it is possible to repair. What's more difficult is to prevent, because again, fighting factions use and abuse cultural heritage for their purposes. So we have also to establish the measures of prevention. And measures for prevention cannot be only of legal nature. Of course, we have laws, we have international treaties, but they are certainly not enough. We have to do what the Constitution of UNESCO says: build the defenses of peace in the minds of men. And this is a long-term, complex task, something that requires vision, that requires tools, that requires resources, that requires education, and the President said education is the basis for the establishment of a solid peace and dialogue between cultures, between groups, between individuals. We need to foster all the tools that are possible for making people understand that sharing heritage and sharing culture is a fundamental way to achieve peace